Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today I am making an inspired fall centerpiece that you are absolutely going to love. It is part of the Farmhouse High-End for Cheap collab and it's hosted by my friends at Decor and Kiki's DIYs. When you're done with this video, please click on the playlist below to see everyone's gorgeous DIYs. Now let's get started. Before we get started, I wanted to show you what inspired this project, and it's by Dawn Renee's Designs. I will link her Etsy shop in my description box. She does many similar centerpieces, but they're absolutely stunning. I am going to be using this wine box. I'm going to get started by staining this. Now, I'm not going to use stain. I'm actually going to use some just acrylic brown paint and water it down. When you have raw wood, it's going to give you the same effect and it's going to be beautiful. If you want to seal it, you could definitely put some wax over it or seal it any way you want. But I'm just going to start with this Artist Loft Burnt Umber, and it's just a beautiful brown color. Now, I find that these paints in particular are a little bit more watery than say, you know, Craft Smart or something paint. Okay, I'm really watering it down here. Before I get started, I make sure I have a nice paper towel in case I have access, because I'm continuously going to be adding and removing until I get it to the consistency and the color that I would like to see on it. By the way, my water bottle is Chocateur. I'll attach in the description box. It sprays in a mist. It is the coolest thing ever. I love this water bottle. Look at this. You can see the beauty of the wood, and it just makes for such a beautiful, beautiful stain. Now you can add more if you like, or you can leave it as is. Definitely up to you. This next step is optional. While this is absolutely stunning and beautiful, I want to distress it a little bit to bring just a little bit of white into the actual piece. And I'm just grabbing some paint, and of course I'm going to take it off on a paper towel or a napkin, and just from the edges I'm going to go in and just very lightly. I just want a little bit of white peeking through here and there. If you feel like you went a little bit too heavy in some spot, just grab some sandpaper and just sand it down. Next, I'm going to grab these circle stickers, and they're kind of 3D here. And Dollar Tree has some of these too, but I grabbed these because they're a little larger than the Dollar Tree little stickers. And first thing I'm going to do is paint them white. Once all painted white, I'm just going to set it aside and let it dry. A little blooper for you. As I'm working, my little cat decides that this box is for him. And he just went in there. Now back to what I was doing. Our white chalk paint has dried. I'm adding some silver paint, and this is the Artist Loft Silver. And I'm just going to paint my little buttons silver, just because that's the metal that's in my bathroom, so it's going to match perfectly. Okay, I'm going to be matching my pumpkins to my Thanksgiving bathroom, because this piece is going on my windowsill in the bathroom. And we're going to do 3 different shades of pumpkins. One is going to be kind of like a peachy pink, and I'm going to actually add a tiny bit of purple to this one. Then this is going to be like an orange and ivory one, and possibly it'll have a little bit of like a brown or a taupe in there. And the third one is going to be more on the grayish side. Basically, I use the white chalk paint as a primer to prime my pumpkins, so that when I come in with the colors, it's going to be much easier to work with them, and the colors are going to be brighter and beautiful. First thing we want to do is get rid of these. So let's start with a tiny little brush, and I'm going to go in with the gray. coming in with some white here to lighten up my gray. I know it looks like I'm going in heavy on the gray, but don't worry about it. We're going to dry, and it's better to kind of stand the white out. Look at this, on top of the gray. So I first did my gray, now I'm going lighter and keep on adding my white. Once this dries, I'm actually going to go and lighten all the tops with white, and you'll see the beautiful kind of natural looking pumpkin that is going to be at the end. It's really nice to mix while all the paints are wet and you still have dimension. Just keep on putting the darker in the center, and then grab your white, put that on top, and it'll just mix in. Then another technique you can do is you put your dark gray and then you go in with a shabby brush. This is one of my favorite things to do. I kind of do this towards the end when my color is already where I wanted. Okay, and here is how the pumpkin turns out. You just keep on layering and dry brushing and adding and removing until it becomes absolutely the way you want it to look. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some twigs or sticks, and I like using these. If you want to use the original ones, just paint them the color you want and go ahead and use them. I absolutely love using these. So I like the ones that are kind of like this. They can branch off, and you know, there you go. Could definitely just do that. And I am going to hot glue these in place. Next, I'm grabbing some of this faux leather ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I marked my center. I'm going to put 3 strips, 1 right here and 2 on the sides. So I'm starting with this one. The next 2 I'm really going to put at the edge because there are staple marks right here. Now we're going to grab our buttons and put them on our little leather strips. They are stickers, but I want this long term, so I really want to hot glue these in place. Now I'm going to take these guys, and these are just the stems left over from flowers, and I saved them. This is the reason to save them. You can use them as stems. I'm going to cut as low as I can, and all I'm going to do is just poke it into the pumpkin itself and hot glue it in place right here. There's no point of putting the hot glue inside. Just make sure that it's hot glued right there. And I'm going to just continue doing this for all the little pumpkins. Next, I'm going to fill in the inside. So the first thing I'm going to do is I cut this hard white foam from the Dollar Tree into about 1/2 inch little pieces. And that is going to go at the bottom. In my box, I needed 1/2 inch to kind of lift my green foam up. And it's at this point. You want about 1/2 inch, no more than that. Otherwise, it's just going to be sunk in too far, I feel. And when you're attaching things, it's going to be too far. So I went ahead and did the foam. And then I'm just grabbing another one and measuring how much I'm going to need. All right, and our foam is in place. Now we're ready to start putting everything together. I have my pumpkins. I have some lamb's ear. I do have some Dollar Tree greenery, and then I have everything ready here. I want to talk about the greenery I'm going to be using. So I buy this lamb's ear at Hobby Lobby at 50% off. At 50% off, it comes down to $10 from $20. And this is just half of it. So this piece alone is $5. Now look at all of this greenery for $5. I think that's a great deal. All right, I'm going to start by adding the greenery here. And I'm going to find my center because this is my front right here. And here's my back. I'm going to find my center, and right here they have like little hooks. What I'm going to do is, you can use whatever you want. This is just some floral wire from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to hook it in here. This is very, very pliable, very easy to work with. And I'm just going to twist it just like that. But it's also very good to work with. So I'm going to start by pinning it right in the middle. And there you go. It's in place. The leaves are covering it. You can't see it. And it's nice and secure. Now I'm going to do the same thing here on the ends. The ending here, I just tucked it in. I'm grabbing the ending. I'm going to make a little hook. Then I'm going to grab the other side of it right here. And that way both ends are going to be nice and secure. Now I'm going to do the pumpkins. Let's start with 2 white ones on the ends. I have to admit, this is one of the funnest DIYs I have done in a very long time. Now don't forget that you don't have to paint the way I did, because I know I did a lot of painting and a lot of colors, but that's just because of my bathroom and the colors that I have in my, you know, my decor. But you can absolutely do just white and it's going to be just stunning. It's going to be absolutely stunning. I'm like literally just giddy from excitement how beautiful it's coming out to be. Now I'm going to fill it in with some spring greenery, and the reason for that is because the lamb's ear is a little bit like frosted, and so are these pieces. These pieces have a little bit of frosted on them. Now I have some left over from previous projects, and I'm going to start with those. Just start kind of putting them in here and there. All right, I'm almost done, but there's areas like right there I can see inside. No worries. We're just going to bring some Spanish moss in and just tuck it in.